I know this is a late video, but what I have just witnessed in this trial today that just literally ended a few minutes ago is one of the biggest miscarriages of justice I think I've ever seen in my entire life. I've never seen anything like that. If you've seen anything like this, let me know in the comments. This was a gigantic filibuster by the prosecution intended for one purpose only. This was an absolute train wreck. It's the worst miscarriage of justice I've ever seen in my entire life. A filibuster by the prosecution over 4 hours of giving their closing argument, forcing the jury to stay long after normal hours till 8 p.m., which is just unheard of. When you have zero proof, you have zero evidence, this is what you do. You lull the jury into a dizzy intoxication of tangents, whereby rendering them incapable of focusing on the actual factual evidence that there is no case for the prosecution. Todd Blanche, on the other hand, he presented fact after fact, evidence after evidence. It only took him a few hours, and he focused on a case that really still nobody even understands what these 34 felony counts are even attributed to, because there is no crime, there is no victim, he didn't do anything wrong, he's not linked or connected to the only thing that the prosecution is banking their entire case on, which is Michael Pinocchio Cohen. He is a serial perjurer, a serial liar, and there's no credibility there. It got so dizzying and bad at one point that after Steinglass, which is the prosecuting attorney, resumed summation that had already stretched out beyond 4 hours past 7 p.m., he accidentally referred back to remarks he'd made yesterday. Or earlier today, he corrected, quote, "It feels like yesterday." I mean, have you ever heard of almost 5 hours of closing arguments? What's the rush? Fake Don Juan Mershon. I just don't understand it. It just kept going on and on and on, focusing on, at one point, even calling Michael Cohen, he may not be believable, but that's because the reason he's such a good liar, as Todd Blanche said, Todd Blanche called him the MVP, the GOAT of liars, is because he needed to be able to cover for Donald Trump. He needed to be a good enough liar. So basically, they're praising him for his ability to lie. Like, what is going on? You can just feel that the jury, after 2-3 hours, I mean, most people, I've been a communications professor, a professor of the rhetorical principles of Aristotle, a speech professor. Most people's attention span is literally less than 7 seconds on a normal basis. In a setting like this, it's less than a half an hour. You went on and on and on. Alvin Bragg, Judge Mershon, you allowed this circus to carry on for over 4 hours? You think they paid it? I actually think this works in Trump's favor. I mean, I would love to hear what your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments down below. But don't take my word for it. Check out this footage of CNN, woke mind media, leftist state propaganda media, CNN. Listen to what their legal expert says about the prosecution's case.
It's on the prosecution, right? They need to prove beyond reasonable doubt that Donald Trump broke the law. And you think, after listening to all of this, you think they fell short? How?
They fell way short, because let's start with reasonable doubt. What is reasonable doubt? And it's not simply a doubt based upon reason. Anytime a human being needs to make an important decision in life, if you have enough information, for example, doctor says you need open heart surgery. Doc, go ahead and schedule. I don't have a reasonable doubt. Conversely, if I say, I appreciate it, but I need a second opinion, I need more information, that is having a reasonable doubt. There is reasonable doubt all over this case. Where is Keith Schiller? Where is Alan Weisselberg? How did Michael Cohen get away with stealing $30,000? Hold a pity party for him. Made $4 million on this. Thought he'd be chief of staff. He's a fixer. If the plumber comes to my house to fix my leak, I could be home. That doesn't mean I know how he's doing it and what it's taking to be fixed. Stormy Daniels, let's hold a pity party for her. Why do we need to know whether or not the former president wore a condom or not? It's simply about, did the former president know that books, his records, false entries for legal fees? Michael Cohen was his lawyer. Did he intend to cover up the election or to protect his family? It's everywhere.
When Randy gets to whisper tones, I start getting concerned.
At one point, it got so bad in today's closing argument that Steinglass went up to the bench after a conference and he said, "Judge, do you think I should stop or should I power through?" And then Steinglass, the judge, said, "You should power through." And then Steinglass returned to the podium and asked jurors, "You good to go a little bit longer?" And what are they going to do? They're going to say no. So, of course, they said, "Sure, I guess." And he said, "Okay, we're going to keep going." He finished his summation, which took hours and hours and hours, saying, "And the name of the game was concealment, and all roads lead inescapably to the man who benefited the most, the defendant." What concealment? This is an 8-year-old case over $135,000. Everybody signs NDAs. It was a non-disclosure agreement. It happens every single day, especially with public figures. What concealment? This is nuts. Donald Trump can't shoot someone on Fifth Avenue at rush hour and get away with it, Steinglass said, parroting Trump's own long ago remark, prompting an objection from Trump's lawyer, which was sustained. And then he spoke for over 5 hours. Over 5 hours. So here's the plan for tomorrow. This is what's going to happen next. There could be a verdict tomorrow. So you got to stick around. You got to make sure, subscribe, hit that bell notification, follow. Judge Merchan told jurors he'll give them instructions tomorrow before they start deliberating. Court will start at 10 a.m., noting that this was a long day. Court will go until 4:30 p.m., and they'll revisit scheduling and the length of days as the week goes on. Merchan reminded both sides to tell any guests that they won't be permitted to leave the courtroom once he starts reading the jury instructions on Wednesday, which everybody's really, really keyed into what those jury instructions are going to entail. If we've seen the track record of this trial, of these participants, it's going to be completely, biased and skewed towards the prosecution as usual, but I'll let you know. Merchan expects those instructions will take about an hour. Then jurors will be off to deliberate. Jurors appeared resilient but relieved to be going home as they marched out of the courtroom after the marathon day of summations. Over 5 hours. Are you kidding me? This is what happens, Nez Nation, when you have no evidence. This is what happens when you have no case. This is what happens when you have no basis, no merit, no grounds. And this is a complete political, weaponized witch hunt of the justice system. It is a complete degradation, to quote Eric Trump earlier in his press conference. He called it. It is a complete degradation. You've got millions and millions of dollars of taxpayer dollars being spent on this sham trial. You've got tons of resources, security, police officers, all sorts of staff that could be actually out there on the streets preventing real crimes, because you and I both know a lot of these Democrat-run cities are absolute cesspools. Look at Los Angeles, Chicago, Portland, New York, Detroit. The list goes on and on. Crime in New York has completely escalated and elevated. This is what happens when you have nothing. I'm so appalled. I'm so offended as an American. If you're a New Yorker, even more so. You should be absolutely ashamed and embarrassed by this carnival of trickery, this carnival of mendacity that's been going on throughout this entire trial. And there's only one objective. He is going to get convicted. Is he going to face? The only question for me is he going to get jail time? Is he going to get any kind of prison time? Are they going to actually get their photo op of him in handcuffs? And are they actually going to get that moniker, convicted felon? That's what they want more than anything. They want that moniker, convicted felon Donald Trump. They're going to remove former president and they're going to replace it with convicted felon. And you're going to see it everywhere on billboards, newspapers, magazines, every website, every social media platform, every ad infinitum, ad nauseum. You're going to see it everywhere. I want to throw this off to you, Nez Nation. Please stay tuned. I'm going to get you covered on everything that's going to happen this week. Subscribe and follow, but let me know in the comments down below what you think. Here's your shoe-proof way. Become a Nez Nation Insider. That's our free newsletter. I'll leave a link to that in the pinned comment and in the show notes and description. All you got to do is give us your best email. It's totally free. Put in your email and you're in. You never miss out on all the latest breaking right to your inbox that mainstream media does not cover. Consider becoming a member too. Super chats and super thanks are much appreciated. We got so many new perks coming for members. It only costs you a cup of coffee to support the truth, to get our country back, to support this channel. All proceeds go back into the channel so I can continue making free content for you. We got our members only Discord now. It is off the charts. So much fun, interactive, engaging. Consider becoming a member. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right now. Follow and subscribe down there. And as always, God bless you, Nez Nation, and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.